Shamans, we understand cause we the tech shamans.
Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome, yeah.
Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans.
Cool.
Good morning, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Good morning, good
I
morning.
love Mondays. Not
Yes.
really. I just do not like Mondays. Actually, I do love Mondays because we do the Tech Shaman Show. Hey, welcome. It's April 22nd. That's right. I'm going to start talking about the days and the weeks because it's becoming a hard thing online. People go, I watched this show, and I'm like, oh, that show was like a month ago. So that camera looks so crooked. It's so funny, but I know it's not. Anyway, welcome to the show. We got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about website compliance. That's becoming a real thing.
That's a nightmare.
We're going to talk about some NAB stuff, some new video cameras. We're going to talk about a camera that from a company that you didn't know made cameras.
Yeah.
It kind of made me go, what? But anyway, and it's 8K. Oh my God, you can shoot to 8K, 24 frames a second. It's so awesome. Not really. Anyway, and then we're going to talk about some other tech that's coming in on Facebook. We're going to talk about Facebook, how interactive Facebook wants you to be now. They want you to do polls, and they want you to do this stuff while live, which means you need to have someone sitting there that is a co-producer for your live streams, messing and dealing with your Facebook feeds. Kind of interesting.
Come on, you can split yourself in two and do it.
Well, you can. One person can do it, but you can't do it well. That's like, I always keep saying, all these guys that you meet that go, oh, I do this, and 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 I do this, which means they don't do one thing well. They just do this, and they do this, and they do this, and they do this, and they drop the ball. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I didn't have time to get that. I had a client right my way. That's the kind of crap you got to worry about. So anyway, well, the first thing we're going to jump onto is let's talk about compliance, because somebody got sued.
Zillow is in a lawsuit over their ADA compliance, or lack of ADA compliance.
Okay.
Wow.
So, which right before the show, we decided to update a driver on my computer, so I can't see all the information right there.
Oh, dude, seriously. Oh,
but it's installing it right now. But the gist of it is, we talked about this quite a few times on the show.
We have bantered this back and forth.
Yes, ADA compliance with your websites is real, folks. You've got to start thinking about this, looking at it. If you're a small to medium-sized business, you're a target for them, because these people, like this young lady who sits at her home, sues about 147 businesses every week, is making a living off of this with her lawyers. The lawyers are behind this, right? Because they're making a killing off of this deal. So what they're doing, yeah,
I just close. I'm out.
A lot of businesses have to, because they're out. But then you carry that. What people don't realize is that carries over to you as an owner, that lawsuit.
Yeah, absolutely not.
If you're how many businesses are self-proprietor and not LLC or an Inc?
I am an S corp.
Yes.
Good luck with that. I have that veil protection behind me. If you're a sole proprietor, or if you're a sole proprietor or you're not anything, you need to go get a lawyer, and you need to S corp up. Don't do an LLC. You need to S corp up, or C corp if you're big enough.
You can do an LLC, but you need to talk to your...
It does not protect you as well.
You need to talk to your lawyer, and you need to talk to your CPA. We are not... None of us here are CPAs. None of us here are lawyers, so we're not going to give you advice on that. We're just going to tell you need to go see them.
You need to go see them today.
This is for real, folks. They are getting sued for an undisclosed amount. The terms of the lawsuit is they have 60 days to comply. So
they got to cease and desist first.
Well, no, they have to fix every page of their website in 60 days. Zillow can't. Here's the other issue with that. Zillow gets, because they get their data driven from the MLS. Well, the MLS is not is not going. For the MLS to get to a compliance level is like a whole revamp. I can't see them ever getting.
But the MLS is a closed system for realtors only. Realtors in that line.
But that data that fulfills your website to show the properties and fulfills, Realtor.com, Zillow, all of the big boys, they pay the MLSs for that data to show those houses.
Yeah, I understand that.
So, but that data is not compliant. So you can't show
I'm just playing. I'm playing devil's.
Okay, because
how's it not compliant?
The alt text isn't there. The ARIA tags are not there. Where it should
that
be
changes on a daily
readable.
basis,
Well,
right?
that's where there should be readable text, right? And what we mean by readable text, yes, readable in our world because it has to be read from a screen device.
See?
It has to be readable visually and audible. So if you have a screen reader and you're blind, right, it needs to be able to play it by audible. Or
so you don't have to worry about. I was going to say, don't they have the ones that automatically reads a website?
Yes. So every time a video's up or a picture's up, your ARIA tags and your alt tags need to say, and the description of that picture needs to be there to tell them what it is. Also, when you look at colors and the way the website is designed, so this is the difference between programmers and designers, right? So a guy can build a nice, beautiful billboard, right, that looks gorgeous. It sits in the middle of the desert and one camel jockey runs by it. Or you can have that efficient sign that's on I-4 and I-4 and 75 that a lot of traffic drives by, and it's very clear and concise. Same thing here. When your website has colors that contrast each other and don't show up, that becomes an issue for the screen readers and stuff too. So there's so many elements to this, and you say you have like WordPress, right, or any CMS, any system like that, Joomla, any of those systems. Compliance becomes even harder because the plugins have to be compliant.
Right.
And 99.95% of them out there in the market are not compliant. And you can't go get a plugin and install it on your website and magically your website's compliant. It's not going to work. If they sell you something like that, run away because it's not going to work. It has to be done in the code of the website, in the CSS of the website. You have to have all of the stuff in there. There is 2 companies in the country that I know of right now that offer a certification program. Both of them are ran by companies who hire ADA individuals. So in other words, there is a group of blind people sitting there testing your site, writing out the report of what needs to be done. There's a group of deaf people sitting there going through your site to tell you what needs to be done to make it happen. And they give you back a report. It's not cheap at all. On average, it's between $2,500 and $3,500 just to start the reports. And I've seen by the time you're done getting a traditional website, not an e-commerce website, not a database-driven website, upwards to $10,000 to $15,000.
Wow.
Yeah, this is real. Spend the money, or you're going to have to do.
Some of that you would have to have a flat-out full-time team that touches that website every single day when you have data coming in like that.
When you have data coming in, yes. Whenever you're running, so the MLS has to become ADA compliant before any realtor site's going to be compliant.
Okay, so
if you're getting third-party data,
even though the MLS is not for is not a public domain site, or you can't.
But you're making it public.
You and I can't go to the MLS. Right. We have to have a credentialed realtor or tax or an inspector.
You have to have a real estate license,
right.
and you have to be a member of the board. You have to be a paying member. Here's the thing, but as a realtor myself, right, my website, I can put the MLS data, the interchange data, into it to show all the properties for the area, right? Well, I'm the one allowing that to be shown. So I'm the one that's going to get in trouble for it, right? So, because it's not ADA compliant. So it's a big harassment piece. And here's the bad part about it is there is no certification levels, right? There's nobody there's no group, even the administration over it that runs the ADA department, or says that these are the rules, don't have rules for the internet. But yet we're being sued by it because case law has been set precedents for it. And now you have these people like this one lady that sits at home and just goes around and says, "Oh, your site's
screen
bad."
reader capable of
They're not
in
certified.
the same way?
No, and that's the other issue. So you're
that's
trying to
crap.
hold us to a standard that you're not holding the screen readers to, right?
Screen readers have to be one set standard, so that way everybody across the board
Exactly.
can
So
follow
you
the
know what you're
standard.
building to.
Right.
So
There's no way you can-
WC3.org has a good practices list. So they say these are the practices you should do for Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3. But they do not certify, nor do they say that these are the standards for compliancy by the departments that
See,
do
I
it.
hate that's the things that drive me insane. Don't give me oh, hey, this is what you should be doing. Give me something that's going to help me do it.
Yes. And so there's a lot of people out there that are getting taken advantage of because there are companies that are saying, "Oh yeah, we'll do this for you," and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to run the test. There's a company that's going around right now in the Tampa Bay market that are putting on lunch and learns that are saying if you buy this plugin and you put it on your website and they show them how to do it and everything, that you're going to be compliant. I can pull up that website the minute they put that on there and show you where it fails the test. Just those small tests, not the in-depth,
That is about as wrong as it gets.
And they're taking advantage. They don't care.
they're
These
taking
people don't care. They're just in for a buck. They see this small window of time that they can make millions of dollars off of innocent people, and they take advantage of them.
Yep.
It's, to me, you know how I feel about small businesses. It's be local, buy local, give local is our motto, and we live it. And to see these small businesses that are already struggling now have this other barrier to get their voice out there, right?
Right.
So what do I tell mom and pop businesses? If you can't afford to go ADA compliant, do you just get rid of your website?
Well,
Or do you go to a very generic website because if you were to read for Class 3, you're looking at a plain Jane text-driven website that really sucks at the end of the day.
So
to be
Reagan
compliant.
Wise said, "What up, guys?" He goes, I teamed up with deaf and hard of hearing to create video for our website and social media so we can communicate with the deaf and hard of hearing demographic." And that's great that you did that. But
are you taking that same, when you put that video up, are you taking that video, sending it out to have the closed caption done, and then taking that closed caption, putting it into the video, and then doing another layer? In other words, when you embed that video into your website, you have to do it in the audio description. You need to put that text file of what that video is
Right.
saying so that it can be read by the screen readers without having to go into the video.
Right.
There's so many layers to this that it's ridiculous at the end of the day, and it's
Well,
hours of
so-
it's hours and hours and hours of work.
78%, I think I read. I could be wrong on the number. I'm sorry if I am. I think it's 78-point-something% of people use YouTube for embedding.
Yes.
So, and if you're like us, who we put out 26 videos a week, right? And for me to go to use Timmy to do all the thing, I don't have the budget for that.
No.
And YouTube doesn't offer it for free.
They do a good job of doing the closed captioning, and it's really, really close. I think that it's very good, but you can't, as of the last time I looked at it, so don't hold me to it, you probably know better than I do. You can't download that file.
Right.
So,
But at least you're putting it, like when we put up videos, if it wants to do, but see, okay, so Reagan says, I have not spent the time to do the text yet, but now I will. Yeah, because
Yes.
you can work with all the blind, deaf, dumb people you want to, but if you're not if you're not doing the whole thing, you're not compliant.
yes.
Period.
And that's the thing, like your RA tags have to be there, your descriptions for every element on your website has to be done.
Right.
You can't just half-ass do it, because they're going to nail you on something. And that's also, if you think about it, think of back in the
So
days.
you're telling me don't put any verbiage on your website?
No, have the verbiage. You want the content there, and you can have
just make your whole website nothing but video.
more than but text. Yeah,
No,
it's one
no-
big text file.
No, yeah, there you go, boom.
But you can't
But-
do video. You can't do.
You can if you go to YouTube.
You can do it.
Tell YouTube to let YouTube closed caption it, and if you use YouTube to embed back here, which is what we do because we like that.
Right.
We like that Google likes the fact that we're using YouTube. Let YouTube handle your closed caption side of it.
But you still need the text content of what's in that
right,
video into your alt description. There's so many things that we could talk about this for the whole hour and go over
Well, we
what
can't.
the
We have
compliance
other
is. Yeah, but you need to understand. So the one company that we use that will do a certification, they have their own insurance policy for it. Once you go through, and so we send it out, we get the reports back from the group, and every page is detailed down to the line segment and the CSS and the data files, everything is spelled out for us, right? So Jeffrey on my team will go in with the developers and they will rewrite everything into place where we need it, and then we submit it back to them.
Can't you just copy and paste it? If you have text on your thing, you tell me you can't copy that text.
You
but
could.
Go into your alt files and
But-
put that text in there and you're done.
You could, but it's not that easy because you're working in CSS and everything. You can copy and paste,
But if
copy
you're
and
working
paste,
in WordPress for each page has its own alt tag.
but it's not per page. It's per page, but it's per element.
Well,
So-
yeah, but if like when you go to Weaving TV, we only have like this much text on every page. That's
Yes,
it.
but you have photos in there. You have blocks of data and everything like
Yeah,
that.
they want to know what
Yes.
that photo is.
Yeah.
So if you have a
Big
photo of a-
penis. I'm gonna go in there. Every freaking picture in there, I'm gonna put big penis.
Yes. So everything, and so you have to do all that, and then you have to have your page descriptions and everything right, your linkings right. There's so much that goes
Boy,
into
I've
it.
got you.
So
That's all I got to say.
on average, what we're
Because my other
seeing,
guy left us.
what we're seeing on average is it's about 3.5 hours a page is what we're spending to do it on an average website.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's a lot of work and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
Well, in a way, we say it's ridiculous, but it's not. I understand.
you need it.
We're trying to make we're trying to make our website be seen and felt by everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So
And the first test that you need to look at with your website to even find out if you're even remotely within the realm is if you cannot navigate using the keyboard, then you need help right. You've already failed the first test.
that's a good question. I don't know
So-
if you are or not.
Now, I was just looking at, there's some wording in here like, lawsuits are mounting. Should banks just fix it or comply, or should they fight it? You gotta wonder,
The problem is we've come into a society that everybody should be equal. And I understand we all should be treated equally. But you're unfairly and unjustly attacking small business owners with this when you're not holding accountable
Well, you need to
the
answer
systems.
That one would be fun.
The systems, you know what I mean? If you're not going to hold the screen readers accountable, right, and liable,
Yeah.
why are you holding me accountable?
and
you want equality
Right.
for everybody, but yet
Well,
you're
and-
wanting
and-
to sue me and take all my money
and it's not like
for this.
It's not like banks don't transfer information through encryption.
Encrypted shit,
So,
yeah.
So now they can't go ahead and just put regular text files in there because it's going to be unencrypted.
Well, you'll make them breachable.
Yeah. So
So I guess it's okay to be equal and be breached, other than be
Right.
So here's what it's really going to take. It's going to take somebody, a big company that has balls,
Zillow's got enough
that's
power
got money
that
to
they
fight
can
back
fight
and
this.
say, hey, here's the deal. When all your readers and all your checking systems are all on the same standard and they're bulletproof, then come after me.
We need legislation that says that this is what this is the compliances for ADA for web. Not a good practices, but an actual compliance list that we can follow. This is law, and put it in and say, okay, everybody's going to build to this level, because then what happens is all your builders come to that level, all of your screen readers come to
Why
there.
haven't newspaper companies been sued for putting their newspapers out without Braille?
And maybe you just gave someone an idea to start suing the newspaper.
I'm going to
for
go
that.
after him today. I'm going to call a lawyer. I want to sue the St. Pete Times because I can't get a Braille edition.
But if they can use some kind of a device that goes over the top and read the words for them, then wouldn't be the same technology be able to be utilized on a like a computer screen?
Yeah. It's so
maybe
ridiculous
it's the
right now.
I'm lost. What were you on?
No, I was saying, look at his shirt.
I know it's Moran.
What's that?
Yeah.
But no,
Okay, so here's the thing, and I'm going to play the Fortune 1 million company.
There you go.
Okay, I'm going to play that. I'm going to be that guy. I don't care if the deaf or blind don't see my website. I don't care. That's not who my clientele is. My clientele are visually people, and they're people that can hear. I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm just playing that Fortune 1 million company that says, I kind of don't care if the deaf or the blind don't see me.
yeah, but they're not going
So-
to publicly say that. But what they're going to fight it. And the
Yeah.
thing is, somebody needs to come in and say, okay, look, we need legislation. We need this done right. But the problem is that against like the way. One of my lawyer friends that runs in the patent arena and stuff like that, and he looks at these kind of things that are happening in the industries. He told me because case law has been set precedents, that's why all these cases are, that's why they're going and doing this, because it's easy for them to go before the judge, and because the judge has no ammo, right? Because one, he has no certifications to go off of. So all he can go by is case law. So until someone fights it, and gets that case law taken up to high enough court that a decision can be made that, okay, we need legislation for this. We're gonna put a motion of stay on all these cases until we can give a standard and give a law that says this is where everybody has to be at. This is going to keep happening. So it's low-lying fruit, and 90% of these cases are being settled out of court because what happens is they kind of figure out in the process of what you're worth, right? And how liquid can you be. So they'll come in and say, well, AMS can afford to pay us $25,000. So the lawyer will beat you up, and your lawyer, and then finally come in and say, you know what, we won't go to court if you pay $25,000 in 3 days.
I think I'll go to court. Because here's the thing. Again, I'm that Fortune 1
But how many
million.
business owners will say, oh my God, you're going to take my house, they're going to take this, they're going to take everything.
First of all,
because they're scared, because lawyers do that. They do
Okay,
that.
But if you're S Corp or you're C Corp, you're not taking shit. You're not.
Yeah, but
No,
you got to
you're not.
remember, a lot
that
of business
corporate-
owners don't know what you and I
That
know.
corporate veil, if, and you know, you can sit there and go figure out how liquid someone is. That don't mean shit. I'm protected. So I'm a Fortune 1 million company.
As long as they can't pierce your corporate veil.
They can't. And well, I don't know about mine, but I mean, I'm talking about if you're a Fortune 1 million, I mean, if you're a big boy and you go, look, and, you know, no disrespect meant, but my site's not built for you. And I'm not going to build it for you.
Well, there's
Sorry.
a couple big boys out there that think that they're covered by this having this little page that comes up that says, we're not ADA compliant, and we will be soon. Well, that doesn't cover you. That does not help you. So if someone tells you to put that on your website and that you're covered,
No,
they're
you're
full
not
of
covered.
shit. They're not covered. No. The only way you're covered is to be compliant, 100% compliant. And it
put
is
up there-
very, very hard.
Or on the first page of your page, the only thing that's compliant was the words that says this site was not built for the deaf, nor was it built for the blind.
But then
Sorry.
you're segregating them.
So
They're going to sue you for that.
good luck with that.
It's not. There's no win-win for this one.
There's no
it's gonna
win
be
for either
bad.
one.
Yeah.
Because
No.
this is making that whole side of the world look bad.
Yes. And it's instead of let's work together to figure it out, it's let's just sue her. And it's a sue happy person and a sue happy lawyer. That's
So are these
we
blind
got
people
them.
going and suing camera operators because they don't put everything on Braille for the cameras?
That would be cool to see.
Same difference.
Yep.
Same
Yeah.
difference.
I totally agree with you. Okay, so here's what the lawsuit, according to the lawsuit,
Yeah, we've already spent 23 minutes on it.
Yes.
Let's get off this. Just get this done and get off of it.
okay, so there's 11 of these. We'll go through them real fast because this will kind of point out like what they're looking for.
Yep.
Retain a qualified web accessibility consultant acceptable to the plaintiffs. Ensure that all employees involved in the website and content development are given web accessibility, I can't talk this morning, it's Monday, training on a biannual basis. So every 2 years I want them to go through training again. Perform an automated accessibility audit on a regular basis.
An accessibility
an
audit.
accessibility audit.
Huh.
Perform an end user accessibility, usability testing at least quarterly. Incorporate all the web accessibility consultants' recommendations within 60 days of receiving those recommendations, which is Zillow's too big. Their site's way too monstrous. It'll never happen.
on a daily basis.
Yeah, it'll never happen. That one they can never meet, and that's why they wrote that in there that way, because they want to be able to get money out of them. Create a web accessibility policy and post it on all websites, along with an email address, an instant messenger, and toll-free number for, to report problems.
Instant messenger?
Yeah.
On what system?
A lawyer wrote this.
Well, you know what? You know what?
Well, first of all,
What you just said is about to make sense. What if you put in there, just like you go to the ATM, what's there? A headphone jack to plug in. Well, who says you have to use a screen reader? Technically, you don't have to have a screen reader. What if you have an app that would read it out for you? That's embedded into the website, that kind of plain text reader for you, and they just click on it, and they can plug in their headphones, for instance, and it will read it out loud, you know?
for a deaf person?
Yeah, or even...
If they're deaf, they can't hear.
Or what if they need assistance? Then they ring through the website, you click on it, you know, click here if you have a hard time viewing our website. And they have a live person that would read out and explain to you the website and what's there and where to click.
It's just ridiculous.
What if they're mute and deaf?
Yeah.
I mean, what if they can't? They're blind. Deaf and mute.
Again, well, I
You
mean, me
can't-
personally, my website's not built for blind or deaf. I'm sorry. It's not.
I think all these different rules will have to go to...
So again, I'm playing the role of the Fortune 1 million company.
Yeah.
I don't care. How much you want? I'll pay you off, go away.
Then
I
what?
mean, it's just ridiculous. If a website is a visual experience, it's not meant to be read.
There's no, like I said
think we're
before,
at a
there's
loss
no
for words.
win.
This is
There's
just the
no
dumbest
win.
thing I've ever seen
There's no win. There's no
for
way
anybody.
to win. No,
There's
for
not
anybody.
even the deaf or the blind.
No.
Because there's not one standard piece of equipment that they can rely on.
And here's the problem. So what we're going to do is take technology and either curb it for web building and design,
Right.
or we're going to have to go back to this what we consider the Stone Ages of web design.
Well, how about this?
And
We
you're
can
gonna
stop
have any
making
interactions.
websites.
I mean,
I'm one of those
can.
old guys, I'm one of those guys. Fine, you don't want anything? I'll just take it all away. There you go. Good luck.
Now nobody can find
Now you can
anything.
sit at home and play with yourself. I'm just saying.
but
I don't mean
anyways,
it that way. I mean like cards or something like that.
you can go online and do accessibility testing. Wave tool is a great one that will give you will point out where your errors are and stuff like that. I highly suggest you get with a company that's reputable. We can do it for you. You can always go to WeBeam TV,
Right.
and get in contact with us. Our team will give you an analysis and let you know.
can email us at techshamans@webeamtv.com.
TechShamans@WeBeamTV.com.
Something like that. There it is.
So
All right, so let's move on because
Yes,
this
'cause
is
this is gonna kill you.
Very angering.
it's a nasty thing.
It was dumb.
Yes.
It's dumb. I mean, this is okay. So normally I would never go political, but yesterday I was going through and I hit C-SPAN, and last night was the Jewish homophobic, white nationalist hate group talking about how all the white privilege we have going on, and it was a bunch of goo-goos that look like they've never dated anyone in their life sitting on a stage at C-SPAN, and their audio was horrible, video was horrible, everything was bad. Right, talking about how us white people have just screwed them, colonization, and I'm like, okay. So anyway, we're all not going to be equal. We're never all going to be equal. Just move on. Just be nice to each other, and so you get it right. So anyway, NAB 2019 is actually today's the last day in Vegas. Normally,
We
I'm
should have
there,
went.
but I'm not. I am going to New York in October, so I'll get to see the stuff 6 months later, which is going to suck, but. One of the biggest oh my's that came out of it is, okay, have you ever heard of, who Sharp is, right?
Mhm.
Printers,
Yes.
projectors,
TVs.
TVs, right? Now they've got an 8K camera.
All right.
So
They're
before
stepping
we get
into a
any
new
further,
world.
I'm gonna let Rob in the back cue up the video, and we're gonna watch this video that they did from NAB. It's kind of an interesting take on camera rah-rah-rahs sometime today.
As you may know, Sharp previewed this compact 8K camera at CES, and so today or this week at NAB, we're introducing the 8K camera to the market. We call this one the HC B30A. This camera is scheduled to come out later this year, and will have a price point in the US of under $4,000. It has this articulating 5.5-inch touch LCD display, which is really nice. It's a micro 4/3 lens mount. It's a 4/3 size 16:9 Sharp CMOS, so we can record in 8K up to 30 frames per second. I could also record in 4K and HD up to 60 frames per second. Currently, we're providing H.265, and we're looking at others. And so that's at 420. Currently at 8-bit, but at production, we're probably going to have 10-bit. So on the side here, you can see we have microphone and headphone in and out. I have a USB Type-C connector. This is a mini HDMI, but we'll have a full HDMI in there, as well as a mini XLR. So the USB Type-C is for offline storage. So while I'm recording, if I want to get additional storage time, I could hook this up to an external hard drive. This is a production prototype, but we've been using it at night around Las Vegas, and it's been really doing well. It's been getting 30 minutes of video onto the 64 gigabyte SD card and a couple of hours of shooting time. At this time, we haven't announced the ISO range. A little bit later this spring or this summer, we'll finalize the ISO range. This one really only has the on-off switch and the record button. All of the other operations will be from this touchscreen LCD. So this particular model does shoot and record, but doesn't have the full menu system yet. It is a production prototype. We'll be getting production prototype updates just about every month over the next 4 or 5 months, and each one will add new menu functionality to it. What you're looking at right now is our Sharp 8K display, which is connected by HDMI 2.1 and displaying the B30 image on the screen there. So you're getting a sample of the 8K image quality, which we think is beautiful. You could also see on the left and right the limited menu function. That does not represent the final menuing design, but it's just the features that we offered in order to get the basic functionality available for NAB this year. I would say maybe one of the biggest things that's taking place now that we recognize is an education process. People were caught so off guard about having access to an 8K camera that they weren't even really sure what they would do with it. And so you get a wide range of views and opinions. Everybody has an opinion, but we're trying to let the camera and the technology speak for itself. It is possible to capture, and we're showing right next door you can even edit in 8K. Adobe Premiere, Final Cut, Grass Valley, DaVinci Resolve. Most of the apps have a way of dealing with 8K. It's usually proxy files. That's the best way to deal with large file formats, because that's really what the issue is, right? Is you have a large file. However, this camera shooting at 30 frames per second at 420, actually the file size, as you notice, is quite reasonable, right? I'm getting 30 minutes on a 64 gigabyte SD card, right? So it's not as aggressive as shooting at 422 or at 60 or 120 frames per second, where you have terabytes of data that you have to deal with. So we think we struck a nice balance of getting the benefits of 8K in this camera, but reducing the spec enough so we can get the price point down, and then also the file size manageable, so that folks can shoot in 8K and then produce some really wonderful 4K videos and HD videos, right? Reframing, recropping, virtual pan, virtual zoom.
Let's come back. All right, so that's not bad for it's under 4,000 for 8K, and if you go do the math, the real math, it's really only shooting in something like 2.6K.
Okay.
That's still a lot of Ks past what your eyeballs can see.
Yeah.
Again,
But-
we can't see beyond 1080.
Can they save that data fast enough to a flash drive yet? Flash card?
So my question to you is, because we were talking about it earlier, you're never going to stream at that level right now.
Nope.
So
Not right now.
So what's the purpose of having 8K
You ready?
for?
You ready? I get to shoot in 8K. I got a camera that does 8K. That's what it's for. Literally. So you can
Bragging
say,
rights.
oh yeah, okay. So here, yeah. Rob just put it. So I can. So if you have a real, I don't think you could do it with this one, but like the Ursa. Actually, you know what? We'll go back to it. Say you take a nice real 4K camera, half-inch glass, half-inch sensors, not the 4/3, but a real true half-inch. And you take that 4K and you do a wide shot, and you'll know where I'm getting ready to go. You can take that one camera and turn that camera into 4 shots.
Because you can, the zoom factor and plus the, because there's enough data there.
Yeah, it's enough data. So
But that's the only.
So if you shoot in 4K, you bring that in one shot in 4K, and then you take those 4K shots and you turn them into 1080s. You can have 4 shots on there, multiple close-ups, whole 9 yards off of one camera. And if you're doing talking head, that's great. But if you're moving, that's not so great.
Yeah.
Now, I know you can,
But for the digital zoom factor, it's great.
yeah, but who cares? That's, to me, that's so. Yeah, if I can't move, then I'm kind of screwed. You know, unless you're doing talking, like we do talking head. This is all talking head. We have no camera operator. We have 5 cameras in here. Actually, 5 cameras, right? They're all talking head cameras. Only 2 move, and those are robotics in case we need to get an item on the thing. So, if you're doing talking head, that's fine. As a matter of fact, I think you were there when another person was trying to sell a streaming service that ran off of a 4K camera on location, and that 4K, and you could actually track.
You mean the one that I
Yeah.
kept telling them that
Yeah.
you can't do this because you don't have enough hardware for it?
Right, exactly. So that's the reason people can use an 8K or a 4K.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it gets down to this: I shoot in 4K, man, and in 24 frames a second, so it looks good. That's it.
So in that environment, would that system, if they ever got the hardware correct, because the concept was cool.
Yep.
It's just that it didn't work because the hardware wasn't powerful enough to
That's
do
correct.
it, to run it.
That's correct.
The way they were digitally moving within the frame itself,
That's cool.
you could be doing.
That's very cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to sit there and say I've got a 4K camera sitting out in front and all that, and I'm just shooting on one camera and all my shots are on. But the problem is the angle's weird. The angle doesn't work. Does that make sense? Because then you're getting a profile instead of a clip like this camera over here. If you go to Adam's shot, so that's a straight-on shot for Adam right there. With a single 4K camera out front, you can't get that shot.
Yeah.
It's more of
Because the
it's more
angle's
of a
not there.
it's more of a profile shot, and that's
Yeah.
not what you want. So
And that's why,
have
that's
profile.
the difference between having 2, 3, 4 cameras on a shot or on location
Yeah.
is so that you can get those different angles. It's not that the camera can't do, the individual shot. It's just that, like you're saying, the angles aren't there.
its angle's not there. So anyway, but for consumer, me and Rob and I we were joking earlier. I was like, oh great, now we have something else to show all these people that want to be. I'm going to become a filmmaker all of a sudden, so they can run out and go get they can go out and go get themselves an 8K camera. Well, good luck.
But
They don't know what the
they're still
ISO
gonna
is
have the
yet,
same
and all this
issues.
kind of stuff. Yeah, I know. It's just, I can go and get. I would if I was person. If I'm going to be a filmmaker now, if I'm going to spend money, I either go get the Ursa or I get a Red. If you really want to go 4K.
I like the Ursas that we had. I think they were pretty cool.
Now Panasonic. We're going to show a Panasonic video real quick, and we'll talk about them when we get back. Let me know when that's up and running, Rob, because this is kind of cool. This is Panasonic showing their booth off at NAB. All right, go ahead, man.
At NAB 2019, we have new technologies in the booth this year that includes Panasonic 4K and 8K cameras with real-time tracking technologies. So let's go take a look. Here in our cinema set, you will see the low-light performance of VariCam and EVA1. These cameras are also shown in live configuration. This is the CX350. handheld, portable, and lightweight, with a built-in lens allowing you to record 4K HDR 10-bit. It allows you to deliver next-generation creativity and connectivity. This is the 4K UC4000 studio camera, equipped with V-Log output, high-speed output, as well as wireless capability. Camera perfect for live sports and entertainment and concerts. In Smart Studio set, you will see Panasonic 8K camera offering 4 independent HD crop outputs. You can have this as 4 independent cameras. In addition, you will find the AWU UN50 working with real-time tracking provided by Blacktrax, real-time augmented graphics provided by Brainstorm, and broadcasting robotics by Technopoint. 2019 marks a decade of Panasonic remote cameras. This year, we are adding 2 new models to this comprehensive lineup that makes more than a dozen camera offerings. That was a quick look at what we have at Panasonic booth this year. Check back later as we dive deeper into the technology.
I'm back. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've always liked Panasonic's cameras, though.
I don't
thought
like
they were
Panasonic.
cool.
They run green.
They were in green?
They run green.
And so what do you mean by that for the
Okay.
people
Well,
out
actually,
there?
I'm sorry. Panasonic's run blue. JVC's run green. Canon's run red. And Sony's run a light blue, which is easier to fix. So every camera has a natural color to it. You know, so if you turn it on out of the box, blah, 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 bounce, some will either look a little red, a little green, a little blue, or or a light blue, or a natural, right? Sony's about the best camera out there, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion. Personal opinion. I don't want emails going. "Ugh." Everyone I've run, I've had to compensate the color. So I don't know what. I think it's because of the chipsets. I think. So everyone will have a tint to it, and you just got to fix it accordingly. And to me, JVCs that have that green color, it's like a little extra. You're like, some people say it could just be my eyes, which it could be, but this is what I see, and there's not a now. I think the truest color camera I've ever used was a Nikigami. I mean, flat on, perfect.
Say that 5 times fast.
Ikigami.
All right.
Those are big boy cameras.
Yeah.
And when you get into that world, you get into a ton of stuff.
So for the average user, though, like the average
Cell phone.
mom,
Go buy an iPhone.
yeah, the
Go buy
average
an
mom,
iPhone, you're just good. I watched these guys this weekend. My son performed his senior play, and all these guys they were holding these little handy cams, and all said 4K. Why? You're not shooting 4K. It's a up-res version of high def.
No.
It's not real, just not true 4K because you don't have enough sensor light, you don't have enough sensors, you don't have enough lens. The lens, people don't understand. Cameras are. Hey, can you bring up the Ursa page that we have? I think I have it on the desktop. When you buy a camera, a true pro camera, you don't buy a whole camera lens kit and whole nine.
No.
It's just the body. So I don't know if you can show that or not, but it. Oh, okay. So anyway, it's just a body. Okay, and it's amazing that all these cameras that are just so huge ultimately are this big.
Wow.
They're tiny. They're not. It's just a computer now. Back in the day when you had a Pan Am or a Panasonic camera, freaking thing was like this big, right? And then the lens.
you got one over there, don't you?
Yeah, I have one. So the camera winds up being just about. Just about that big when all's said and done, and probably weighs about 80 pounds. Today, camera bodies are this small, right? And then you got a lens that sticks out like this because now it's all computer, it's all sensor, it's all chip driven. It's no longer now. But the glass, it gives you your depth. So you can put. I can take. I was telling you earlier. I could take my camera, which is one of these X3s. Go ahead and show that. Go ahead and show it. So. If you see that camera, they look huge, right? Like, oh, that's so huge. But the
90% of it's the battery pack,
yeah.
and they
See
tag
how
on
tiny
lens.
it is? It's a little bitty tiny thing.
And they're powerful as can be.
Oh yeah, and these little Ursas are monsters. You can buy one for so that's what you get when you buy a camera, and then you got to go. Oh, Okay, now I got to put a lens on it, right?
Get rid of the
And now, it doesn't come with batteries, so you got to buy batteries. It doesn't come with a handle, so you got to buy a handle.
You got to buy the V-lock. You got to buy the batteries. Got to buy the battery.
You got to buy
charger,
everything.
You got to
So-
buy the lenses. You have to buy the cards because those don't shoot off
stop
of
right
SD
there, Rob.
cards.
So there's what you're buying. Those 4 little things, you're like, okay, I want that with the optional PL mount, or I want the F mount, or the
F-mount
EF
is
mount.
Nikon, EF is Canon.
Exactly.
PL is like professional lenses, like the
Panasonics, the Tamarons,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yep, and then your B4 lens
So that's
mount.
what you're getting, right? So the camera bodies have gotten smaller, and now you just got to go pay for your lenses. Well, it's great. Well, some people say, "Well, I can buy an Ursa for like $4,500." Yeah, you don't get a lens, you don't get handles, you don't get crates, you don't get microphone inputs, you don't get battery. You have to buy all that. So when you're all said and done, one camera, a professional camera, a real camera, will run you approximately $20,000.
Wow.
Yes.
These cameras that I have sitting in here, which I
Those
have
drives
one fixed,
alone are a couple $100 a piece.
Try almost $500
yeah.
a piece. So I have 2 cameras in here that are Sony EX3s, and I have a Sony EX1, which is a fixed lens. These other ones are, in their heyday, these were $15,000 to $25,000 cameras, depending on what lens package I pull.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want batteries? You gotta buy
get batteries.
So these it makes a difference on your lenses.
That's a perfect shot right there. That last shot right here.
Right here, this is the perfect shot.
No, the one behind me, that one.
Yeah.
Each one of those pieces you have to buy separate.
Yep.
Hey, that's
Each one of those
Yeah.
has to be bought separate. And so that lens alone is probably $5,000.
No.
That
no,
lens
18
right
to 30,
there?
No,
Yeah.
that right there, that lens is only like $1,500.
No,
It's only an
I looked at that
1835.
one. I looked at that one.
It's
that
only an
one's
$1835.
$5,000
It's not. I would never.
for the Q series glass. They're
I see 'em typing
freaking
in something.
Crazy. It is crazy how much they are.
Hey, I got Googling behind me. I love it. So anyway, but my point is so Ursa came out with their new updated version, in which is just a monster camera. But all this being said, one of the things that the reason we're talking about video is because now Facebook. Let's jump over to Facebook real quick. Facebook their vision is to make Facebook completely interactive. So when you're putting your videos up, that's why they've started the watch parties on the parked videos.
Right.
They've made polling, but they want you to do that live. They want polling. They want interaction. They want you talking to the actual people that are watching you, which we do a pretty good job of. We try to keep it. We're kind of all over the place, but and there's these new creators that are doing interactive videos like polling for both live videos, as gamification for live. And there's all these tools that people are coming out, so that way they can start putting, you can become questionable, like confetti or outside your bubble or what's in the box by Fresno. There's these companies that are making this crap so you can actually become more interactive with your people on Facebook. Facebook doesn't want pictures anymore. They want video.
Mm-hmm.
They want live video.
their prerogative.
It is. It's like blah, blah, blah. So just let you know, that's why we're really kind of talking about all of this, the video today, other than the web compliance. Well, which makes it now, all this video is going to have to be web compliant and blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Guess who isn't web compliant?
Who?
Who are we talking about?
I don't know.
Facebook.
Oh, Facebook? Oh, Facebook will never be compliant.
Yeah. So who's going to sue Mark Zuckerberg for that?
Yeah, yeah. Good luck with that, because that's like going up against the Clintons. You'll just disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the lens. 1835.
1835 for that one? Is that the Q series?
The regular one is 800. The super high speed one's $4,000. So.
Yeah. They're badass.
So, but so here's the thing. So all this video is getting it, and all the streaming live is getting into it. And one of the big things at the NAB show was the esports experience. They want people, because they know this has become a monster industry.
Yeah.
Well, NASCAR's all in it now. They have like
Who gives a crap about a bunch of people making a left-hand turn in a circle all damn day long? I don't care. I really don't care. If you ever turn them toe right, that would just mess their world up.
But now all the teams are actually hiring e-drivers to drive in the simulators and stuff like that for them, and they're racing a whole league that NASCAR is sponsoring. So like big prize money.
So are they going to make all the computers now all the same now, so that no one feels like they're picked on and they're outgunned? That's NASCAR, right? Because every car weighs the same. They got the same power ratio, so it's all up to the driver.
Yep,
So now they're going to NASCAR to make everybody's computers the exact same, so we're all equal.
They're going to be throttled. Every single one will be throttled.
Everyone. So,
You're going to throttle your computer when you install our software.
because, well, here's the thing. So, ESPN and Fox Sports and all these guys back in the day, NFL and MLB, blah, 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 they make fun of them little old couch potatoes.
Yeah.
But them little old couch potatoes, some of those players are making more than their biggest players on the field just by playing a video game. I literally watched The Simpsons last night, which I haven't watched in forever. And it was literally about Homer taking Bart to become an online gamer. And they went over to somewhere like Korea, and I was like, "Oh my God, is this not?" It's just it's amazing when you start seeing it online. But so this has become a big deal. I think 2 years ago, the LCS was done in Tokyo. Was it Tokyo? No, it was Korea. Done in Korea in the basket. You know what I'm talking about? The Olympic basket, right? Filled it up within 2 hours. So then they had to have off-site streaming locations to watch the LCSs. More people watched the LCSs than they did the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Well, I believe that one because nobody watched the Super Bowl this last year. I know I didn't.
But it's become a big deal. So you have to have a solid platform. You have to have a solid camera. Now it's amazing how all of a sudden all the webcams became 4K. I think there's a new 8K coming out through Microsoft. They have an 8K coming.
Really?
Why, I don't know.
What is
You
it
can't tell the
for?
difference. So someone can say, I have an 8K camera. That's it. Yeah, pimples. Dr. Pimple Popper will.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it's for? Or who it's
Webcam.
for? Like, no.
You'll see the pores inside the pores.
I wonder if they're going to use it. I wonder if they're doing that for like the conference room setups.
No, it's for gamers.
Ultimate.
This is a new camera coming out for gamers. So why I don't want to see the pimples on.
Yeah, but why do you need an 8K for a
girl
gaming?
that's streaming in a negligee, that's not playing her husband's or her boyfriend's playing off screen.
It's going to be perfect. Pretty soon, nobody will ever be able to know how to communicate with a live human being.
Exactly.
And we'll never be able to say hi to anybody
So
without offending them.
so
this is pretty cool with the taking the polls and stuff. I'm reading about the social media.
Yeah.
That you're talking about.
Yep.
So they're adding a whole bunch of interactivity to
Yes.
it. So
Which
that's
is
really
a good
cool.
thing. I mean,
But like you said,
You need
now I'm
somebody
going to
else
need
to
an
do it.
Adam sitting over in the corner.
someone's going
doing
to have to
it,
run
yeah.
it. If you're playing a game or you're like, say, we're in the middle of the show. I mean, we try to talk to some of the people that are like, like Reagan or something like that popped in and he must be gone. It's great that we can do that, but you got to have someone on thing that's answering to every single one of these people.
Right.
Saying, hey, thanks for
Yeah,
coming.
and you can if you're sitting there trying to stream. You can't be the same person. Especially if you're on a mobile device. Looking at the camera and streaming and answering the questions or, putting up polls and everything.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool.
It's good. So anyway,
Did you
it's NAB.
Did you see the Samsung Fold that we were talking about?
No.
They halted the
started
launch.
canceling a whole bunch of events because the screens are
breaking.
No.
even before they got out
They
to the
broke?
general public. What a coincidence!
Wow, how about that?
Yeah, so we
never thought in a million years they'd break.
So you heard it here first. We were talking about this 2-3 weeks ago.
Well, a month and a half ago.
Month and a half ago, we were talking about the same situation and how they're going to fix this, and yeah, it's happening.
I don't think it'll ever be I don't think it'll never be released.
You know what's funny too is that some of the issues that they're having is the testers that are using the phones. Some of them are popping with defects in the physical screen that are leading to the phone breaking. But then I was reading too that they're mesmerized by the OLED, and because of the way they have to make it, they're seeing like a plastic film on the screen, so they think, let's take it off, and they're just ripping the screen apart.
Oh, no.
We're so used to glass, we can't do this. So they had to cancel some of their launch events over in China and everything, and I'll see if they even make their. Well, I think they wanted to officially release it April 26th, but I guess it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Oh my!
And this is why you see Apple wait on things.
Yeah.
Because they want to make sure they do it
Let everybody else mess
right.
up first.
Yeah. As we see, it's a very difficult project.
Yeah. Well, we probably got about a minute left, minute and a half left. So, so if you have any questions, text Shamans at WeBeamTV.com, email us, and make it out to who you want. I have a question real quick. Blue screening has become a major deal in the last couple of months. What's going on?
Drivers, incompatible software, most of the times is what's been happening. A lot of times, you have an incompatible software.
I had an email about this.
Yeah, incompatible software, antivirus program that's not been updated or tested in Microsoft's new version. The Windows updates that are happening nowadays are not just Windows regular standard updates. They're not updating like one or two components. A lot of times they're whole operating system upgrades, and a lot of the features have not been tested with every single software out there. So a lot of times you have, antivirus programs will cause issues, firewalls will cause issues. Heck, even keyboard and mouse will go dead because of driver conflicts.
Cameras will go dead.
The cameras will go dead. You'll have issues like, say, for instance, you have TeamViewer installed and you haven't updated it in a while. TeamViewer installs its own remote keyboard and mouse app, and Microsoft does an update, and there you go.
There you have it. That's why we're blue screening. So anyway, we'll be back next Monday. You can rewatch this all week during the week in reruns, or you can make sure you definitely see it Thursday at 11 o'clock. And with that being said, we'll see everybody next week.
Shamans, we understand cause we the tech shamans.
Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah.
Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans.
Cool.